Oh, that's real good.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel Penny Lesson. We talk about everything finance, from tips on making money and proper investing to news about the different economies and situations affecting the global markets. The goal of this channel is not only to teach you how to be more financially responsible but also to teach you how to be more aware of global events. So why not just sit back and relax while we tell you what's happening in the finance sphere? Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be constantly updated on my latest videos. Remember, one penny lesson a day keeps being penny less away. Russia's economy is struggling. Want to know how Ukraine versus Russia affected their economies? Grab some popcorn since this news may help your investments. Despite a strong military, Russia's economy is collapsing. Subtle but scary leaks suggest the Russian economy is collapsing. Western sanctions have cost Russia $600 billion. 30 years of foreign investment after the Soviet Union's fall are wiped out. Russia's GDP is $1.4 trillion, so this is serious. 42% of Russia's GDP disappeared overnight. Since Ukraine's invasion, over 1,000 businesses have left Russia. Russia claims sanctions cost 12 to 15 of direct jobs. 35 to 40% of Russia's workforce is indirectly unemployed, according to data. One man's income is another's cost. 12 to 15 of unemployed people will stop buying goods and services. Russian unemployment has climbed from 35% to 40%. Russia's imports are down 60%, which is worrisome. Local goods and services often compete with imports. Consequently, local companies would gain from a drop in imports. Imports into Russia have dropped so much that local enterprises can't get basic materials. Some products are non-existent. In Russia, there are few semiconductors. Without enough chips, people can't buy fridges or cars. U.S. military equipment used refrigerator and dishwasher semiconductors. Russia has tried to handle this problem with illegal imports, but that hasn't worked. Gray market imports are banned. Gray market parallel importing is an unrecognized avenue where third parties import goods straight from one nation to another. This is when a third party imports a product from one country without the manufacturer's consent. Russia used the illicit market to replace imports. Russia's parallel imports could reach $16 billion. This hasn't solved Russia's import problem. Yale's Jeff Sonnenfeld says imports are down $150 billion, or 60%. This means parallel imports have replaced 10% of lost Russian imports. China is making things worse, despite claims that Russia and China can trade. Concerns about secondary sanctions have reduced Chinese exports to Russia. A nation levies secondary penalties when it cuts ties with a sanctioned nation. In this context, this would mean cutting ties with Chinese enterprises doing business with Russia. These secondary sanctions, which hurt Russia's imports from China, have scared Chinese enterprises. Russia's import deficit causes inflation. According to Russia's central bank, the ruble's yearly inflation rate is over 15%. The Russian central bank inflates inflation for numerous reasons. Jeffrey Sonnenfeld's research shows industry-specific inflation rates of 20 to 60%. Russian central bank is cutting interest rates, which will heighten inflationary fears. Russia cut its interest rate by 1.5%. Russia's interest rates have fallen for 5 straight quarters, a historical low. Ruble devaluation is inevitable. Another issue may be more urgent than the Russian currency crisis. Russia is broke. Customers can't shop without imports. Russia needs exports to continue funding the Ukraine war. Western oil and gas sanctions have cost Russia many of its energy consumers. Russia's GDP is 40% oil and gas. This worries Russia's economy. Putin says he's selling oil and gas to China and India. Falsehood. First, gas. Because natural gas transit requires pipes, scaling is difficult. Building pipelines takes time. Planning, erecting, and building them takes years. Putin says he can export liquefied, shippable natural gas. False again. Russia has less than 10% liquid natural gas. This means pipelines must transmit 90% of oil. Pipelines provide Russian gas to Europe. Since Europe no longer does business with Russia, these pipelines are useless. Russia's pipelines connect eastern Siberia with Asia. Siberia's network capacity is 10% of Russia's European network. New pipelines connecting Russia to East Asia are being built, but completion will take years. Russia's shaky economy may prevent them from financing these new pipelines. Russia's inability to export natural gas has reduced its revenue. Gazprom, one of Russia's main natural gas companies, has cut output by 36%, indicating market fragility. Russia has oil concerns, just like natural gas. From Russia to East Asia, oil takes 35 days. Oil from Russia to Europe takes 2 days. 53% of Russia's oil exports go to Europe. As mentioned, most of Europe has cut commercial ties with Russia. Since Europe no longer buys Russian oil, Putin must discount it for China and India. According to the administration, Russian oil is 30% cheaper than the international standard. Russia's high oil prices are a significant problem. Despite increased oil export revenues, all of it is sold at poor margins. India and China can't import big amounts of Russian oil forever. Russia's economy is in free fall. Therefore, no one wants to lend it money. China used to finance Russia, but no longer. Chinese President Xi announced BRI in 2013. The BRI builds China's neighbors' economies. The BRI's belt is above the road. Russia dominated the belt. Since 2013, repayments for Russia have reached $932 billion. BRI spending on Russia was cut after Western sanctions. 0. Since its default rating, Putin has utilized Russia's income and reserves to pay for government spending. Russia's spending exceeds its income, a concern. Russian Finance Ministry reports a 2% budget shortfall. Russia's spending exceeds its income by 2%. For the sake of this movie, let's pretend Russia's budget imbalance is accurate. Who pays the 2% deficit? The rainy day money helps. Budget stabilization funds are emergency money set aside for unforeseen deficits. Russia's gold and foreign currency reserves were $640 billion in February 2022. Since then, Russia has spent $75 billion from the reserve, leaving $565 billion. A large portion of the rainy day reserve is unusable. Russia invested $300 billion in Western banks. Western nations have frozen all Russian bank deposits. Russia's emergency reserve is $265 billion. Russia spends $75 billion every 5 months. Hence it will be broken in 17.67 months. With steady spending, this is the best-case situation. Russia's crumbling economy will increase spending. The Russian Finance Ministry indicated that other agencies want 5 trillion rubles annually. That's $84 billion a year, or $7 billion more per month. If spending keeps up, Russia will run out of money in 12 months. In a way, Russia's emergency fund is a time bomb. Russia's fall will have global consequences. Russian debt is $472 billion. Luckily for China, Russian default wouldn't be disastrous. Russia may have to depart Ukraine if it can't fix its domestic concerns. Saving lives will help the West recover from sanctions. Over 1,000 Western companies will see their Russian operations gone overnight. Some fear Vladimir Putin will use nuclear weapons to escalate a worldwide war. An uprising could arise before Putin acts. Former FBI agent Clint Watts predicts a military coup or public movement will lead to a revolution. Putin has prevented a coup well, but it could yet happen. Putin has countermeasures, but Ukrainian intelligence says Russian generals and KGB officers are plotting to remove him. Silovarks would carry out a coup. Silovarks are Putin's power base. They have access to troops, prosecutors, and intelligence networks. Silovarks would stage a coup before Russia ran out of money. Putin may be ousted in 4 to 12 months since Russia has 12 to 18 months of reserves. In 1 to 2 years, Russia's economy will collapse. It's 40% in Russia. Immigrants leave. Consumer spending is down. Rising inflation. Imports drop 60%. Falling exports. Government funds are dwindling. Putin's opponents are organizing a coup in Russia. I'd say it's newsworthy. Russia, doomed or reversible? Comment below. Wow, was that news? Why not ponder it? Want to know the latest? Comment if you want more articles like this. This video is just one of many videos on my channel that brings you the latest news about the world of global finance and economics. So go hit that subscribe button if you don't miss out on content like these. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Thank you for all your support, and I'll see you again next time. Remember, one penny lesson a day keeps being penny less away. Cheers.